Quei openerei come gamute come ora. Avete trailer. Okay. So, hi, good morning, people. Lizzie, can you hear me clearly?
Good morning, Rachel. Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Motheki. Nice to have you here.
Hi.
Hi, hi. And I think there is also Koahile watching us on Facebook. Hi, Koahile. Maybe you can say something. And I'm here with David.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, hi. So we are going to be continuing today with our class. First, I want to start by apologizing for starting late. I know, yeah, I know it has been uh, quite some challenge today for me, especially because of the network. So as we start the class, make sure to mute your mic if you can, so that we can be able to continue. Yeah, so I understand that we have two students joining us who are new students, that is Salome and Mutheki. So maybe I just wanted them to kindly introduce themselves. Salome, you can introduce yourself and Mutheki, and then I'll be giving you a little background as we continue into the film appreciation class. So just for the sake of everyone, just introduce yourself again, Salome, and then Mutheki.
Hello guys, my name is Salome.
Hi.
My name is Salome.
Yeah.
My name is Salome, and I'm a new student here. Yeah.
Great, great. And then Motheki, introduce yourself.
Hi.
Mm.
My name is Wadeki, and I'm also a new student here, and I'm excited to join.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Maybe Lizzie, as I continue with this quick makeup class, as I wait for the older new students to join in as well, I would like you to be sharing for me the presentation for film appreciation if you can. I don't know whether you're in a position to share it. It's still there in the documents, in the slide.
Let me check it
Yes.
out.
All right. Thank you. So, welcome to the film class. And at YFP Africa, we, as I told you during orientation, we strive to teach people that film is a business, and we also strive to teach people film techniques and film business techniques. And over the week, we've actually been doing some what is it called, makeup classes for the new students, and we've
Can
been
you see
looking at
it?
the. Yes, I can see it. I can see it. Thank you. You'll go all the way to cinematography,
Alrighty.
all the cinematography. So for the two new students, that is Motheki and Sally, I'm going to give you another separate makeup class for you both, because I know you are a bit behind the other new students. But I just wanted to tell you why we are teaching film appreciation, so that even as I continue to teach how to look at cinematography, then you'll be able to understand what we are looking at. And so basically, film appreciation means is, if you are a filmmaker, you've got to keep watching other people's films, so that then you can also be able to learn from what other people have been making. So it's very important for you to keep watching other people's work, and watching other people's work can even become a job for you. So for instance, there are so many people who work as film festival judges. These are people who are given productions and productions. Of course, with the most prestigious film festival judges being people who judge at the Oscars. Currently, if I'm talking in the Kenyan space, we have two people in Kenyan space, two filmmakers in the Kenyan space who are in the Oscars jury. We have Judy Kibinge, and we also have Wandori Kahio, who was also admitted to the Academy Awards, that being the biggest academy award in the world. So that means these people who watch other people's films and have comments about it, it means they're able to actually analyze a lot of factors, such that it's not always just about watching the film once. It's watching the film and understanding the techniques that have been employed in the film. So over the last couple of days, we've actually been looking at how to analyze different things in a film. So for instance, if you're given a film as a judge, you're able to analyze different things in that film, and you're able to come up with a conclusion on the film. And after this class, of course, I'll be giving you an assignment. I'm trying to check because I can see there's someone else in the studio. Okay, yeah. So basically, yeah, so you'll be required, maybe if you're a festival jury or you're organizing your own film festival where people are competing, to be able to say, why am I awarding this film best picture, or why am I awarding this film best cinematography, or something like that. Also, being able to have this skill is very important for you as a person, because how can you be able to look at your own work and say, I think I did good in my own work? And so there are so many departments that we've been able to look at how they are analyzed. And we started by looking at simple things like cinematic language, the type of film that you're making. So if you're analyzing something, you need to know the type of film that you're analyzing. And then we looked at the way the story is written. And just as a recap, we said that a movie story is written 3 times. When you're watching a movie on the screen, it's written 3 times. The first time, it's written by the person who writes it on the book, who is the writer. So this is a person who just writes with pen and paper or types. But then, because a movie is a visual thing, there is another writer who comes into place, and this is the director. So the director comes and takes the script that was written and converts it into something that you can see with your eyes. And then the editor comes in as the third writer, and he comes in and brings in all these 3 writers together, their work, and actually that's what you get to watch as a movie. So we talked about being able to know the writing process, like being able to know how the writers were creative in telling the movie. For instance, were they using elements like suspense and surprise? And how was the plot of the movie that you are watching? Plot is like, how did that writer actually choose the events to put in the movie? So did they just like take any events which were minor events and put them in the movie? Or did they actually choose the events wisely? Did they use other techniques, the way they were telling the story and all that? So that's amazing to just be able to know what you can watch in other people's films and actually be able to analyze it. So far we've already covered narrative, in which I've already said that Motheki and Salome, I'll give you a makeup class on that. We've also covered production design. Production design is moving forward. You've written the written story. You've actually told it on camera and you've edited it. So that's what we are seeing. So we're just like, when you're looking at narrative, it means you're looking at the way the story was told by the 3 writers. So we've looked at that, and I'm going to come back and give you guys a makeup class on that. Secondly, you also look at production design, like the elements that have been designed, and that's where we stopped last time. Can you take me to production design a little bit, because I can see I need to repeat something there. I just want to show something. Lizzie, can you go back a bit to production design? Go to the pictures. Go back again. Again. Go back to the main picture with the lamp in the middle. Yeah, you've gone back so far. Its production design is after narrative. So guys, the slides you're seeing Lizzie moving forward with are actually are actually the things we have already covered, which I'm going to give you a makeup class on. But last time when we stopped this film appreciation class, makeup class, we were looking at elements of design, and we were saying how to analyze the elements of design in a movie. And I really love this picture. That's why I put it there, just to show you the 7 elements of design. I think I'm going to start here and then move forward. I know I had covered a bit of this last time, but I feel it's very, very important. Now, when you're watching a movie and you see a scene like this, it would be easy to just think, okay, looks good. But then if you're looking at it as a filmmaker, you will be very much inspired by the amount of work that has gone into this place. Now, we have 7 elements of design. That means design actually itself is derived from a word which is called mise en scène. Mise en scène. That is actually a French word meaning staging the scene. Mostly when you're making a fictional film, that means you're making a film where you're bringing in actors and you're bringing in other people, and you're trying to lie. The actors that you are bringing in, this is not their real life story. So you're trying to design those actors, the way they will look, the way they will dress, what hairstyle they will have. So you're designing everything about those actors. Also, when you go to a location and what you're trying to make is a fiction film, you'll find yourself also trying to design the set, trying to make the set look exactly the way you want it to look like. The set is the location where the action is happening. Like, for example, right now, can somebody identify for me what is the set here? Maybe Mutheki, can you try? Try and tell me what is the set in this picture? Like, give the name of the place. Yeah.
It looks like a dining room.
Exactly. So the set is the dining room, right? And you're right. So the set is the dining room, and what you're trying to design is that dining room. But Mutheki, let me ask you, is this a dining room for a rich family or for a poor family?
For a rich family.
Yeah, so you can see that the filmmaker has actually made some effort to actually design so that that communication is getting to you as a viewer, that this is a dining room for a rich family. So if these people put a dining room in this dining room in any other way and it looked cheap, that means if they wanted to show you this is the dining room for a rich family, then you would have to get confused with that message. Do you agree with me, Moteki? If it was not looking exactly like sophisticated as it's looking, do you think it's going to affect the way the film is going to communicate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, when you go to a set as a filmmaker, you need to design your set according to the script. So you read your script and then you see what do you need to redesign in that. And that's very, very important. And that's why we always say that production is a process, it's not an event, because it takes a lot of hands and a lot of creativity. So I consider this like maybe interior design in the real world, or architectural design, things like those. People who just come and see a location and then look at the location in the script and actually try to convert. So this is a scene from a movie. So you can see the set is designed, right? It doesn't look just like that. Do you agree with me, Salome, that this set is designed? Do you think it was looking like this all day?
No, it's designed.
Yeah, so it's design. Yeah, it's design. So as a filmmaker, when you go and find a set, you've got to design it so that it looks the way you want it to look like. And that's what has actually been done in this picture. And I'm going to show you other elements of design as we go on. So the people in the picture, do you think they are just dressed like that, or somebody dressed them? Are you seeing any elements of these costumes being really designed? So, for instance, let me come to Nancian. Nancian, tell me, what do you think about the guy with the red jersey? Nancian? Okay, I think Nancian is not there. Either Moteki or yeah, Nancian? Okay, so tell me about the guy
Yeah,
in the red clothes. Yeah. Hi.
Rachel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The guy in a jersey.
Yeah.
He looks
What
like
do you
he's
think? What do you think about him?
he looks like a football star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So when you see his costume, you can just tell that he's not an official person. He's a very casual person. He likes sports, right? Because of his jersey, he looks calm, collected, and he looks like a sports person, right? Yeah. And when you look at the lady with the gray coat, the older lady with the gray coat, you see that even her design is different. The way she's dressed, it shows you that she's a traditional woman, dressed like in the traditional. Does she look American or British? Can somebody tell me? Liz, does
She
she look
looks like
American?
a Briton. She looks like a Briton.
Yeah, exactly. When you just look at her, you can tell even her culture because of the way she is dressed. And this is the way the British are very bureaucratic people, and there's a way they dress, like when they go to the dinner table and all that. So you look at her and you can already tell maybe I could be watching a British series here. And when you look at the other younger girl, you even confirm your allegations because you're able to see again, this is like a British kind of setting for this photo. And when you look at the man with the gray hair, you see him, he looks handsome and everything, old, calm, collected, and confident. But if you're able to look at the people in the front, they look bigger. The people at the back, they look smaller. So it's like a feeling of intimidation. And this has to do with the camera angles. And in camera angles, we always say when the camera looks down on you, you look smaller, insignificant, and all that. When the camera looks up on you, then you look superior, powerful, like you have a voice. So the two people at the front, that means the guy with the jersey and the woman with the gray coat, they look more superior because they look bigger. And then the father at the back and the girl, they look more inferior because the camera is looking down on them and they look smaller. So all these are things that filmmakers are doing in the movie to actually arrange the elements of design. So in this picture, why I love this particular picture, it has all the 7 elements of design. So can you guys see the set? Of course, we have agreed that there is a set there, which is the first element of design. And then the second element of design is usually decor. Can you guys see some decor? Anybody who can see some decor? Even David, can you tell me what decorations you see? Which is not lighting design, but decoration.
You can see even some empty glasses. I think those ones, they're just made there to decorate.
Yeah, but these ones are actually props. Those are props. But I'm saying
the
decoration
decors. Okay,
on the wall.
You can see the curtain.
Yeah, you can see the curtain.
Yeah.
And then I don't know whether you guys can see the little wall behind the guy with the jersey. The little wall, it's decorated.
Yeah, it's
It
decorated.
looks a bit nice. It looks like it has a wallpaper. It looks very nice. Even at the back, there's a bit of decorations that have gone in. So when you take a set, you can decorate it. You can take a painting or a picture and put it there just to decorate a little bit so that it can look good. And since most of you have been to my house, when you look at the area where my TV is, I've decorated, right? I've put some nice decors there so that the house stops looking plain. So decorations are very important. They bring life to your set. So that's the second element of design. The first one is just the set itself, the way you've set it, you've put everything. And then the second one is the decoration, and the third one is props. Props is a short name for properties. So the props are the things that you need to put in your location so your location can be complete. For instance, in this picture, you can see there's a dining table, there's chairs, there's glasses of wine, they have drinks, there's a lot of things that has been put there to make this look like a dining table. No wonder, Mutheki, you were able to pick up the fact that this is a dining table. All right? It's because of the properties that have actually been put on that set that you are able to do that. Hi, Femi. Good morning. Morning. Femi is saying hello.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Okay, good morning. So it's Okay. So the props have been put on the set, and this is amazing. So you're able to see the props have been put on the set. Then the third thing is the light. Those are three things that you design the set with. Another thing that you design is the lighting design. Lighting design, people confuse lighting design with lighting for the camera. For instance, I have some lights in the house and I can put on and light the subject. But when I'm lighting the subject, it doesn't mean I'm lighting the lights. Are you getting my point? So the lights that appear in front of your camera and you're recording them, that means they are supposed to bring in some color and some mood and some feeling in your scene. That's what you call lighting design. For instance, Moteki, which lighting design can you see in this scene? Moteki,
I can see candles on the table.
you can see candles. Good. Salome, which ones can you see? Lighting design. Nachoka. Nachoka, which other lighting design can you see?
There's a bowl by the window, just outside the window.
Yeah, there's a bulb just outside the window. And the biggest lighting design, I'm hoping you guys are seeing it, is the chandelier just on the top of the guys. It looks so beautiful. The chandelier, the big light that is on top, and it looks really beautiful, that is shining on the table. So you can see the chandelier that is there. The director has actually put all these things very nicely to make sure that they work. Okay, so that will be very, very important. Liz, can you add Salome, please? I can see her in the background. Yeah, so the chandelier on top is also a lighting design. All right, then what else is there? When you look at the table, you see now there's the characters, right? So we've talked about 4 elements of design, and I'm trying to look in my banners because I think I should have that written somewhere. Yeah, so actually, yeah, here they are. Let me just see if they can be scrolling on the screen. Lizzie, because my laptop is hanging, can you go to the banners and you'll see scroll through the banners and you'll see the 7 elements of design and actually put them, yeah, they're there. Actually, I can see them scrolling. So when you look at your screen now, you're seeing them scrolling, the set, props, decor, lighting, wardrobe, makeup, hairstyle, and these are the 7 elements of design. So we've looked at sets, props, decor, lighting design, and now we are looking at how do you design the character. The character is the actor. What do you need to design in the character in your screen? And some of the things that you need to design in the character is, one, you need to design their costume, which is their wardrobe, like what they are wearing. It's very important. It drives a particular message. When we began this class today, we were able to ask some of you to tell us, what do you think about these costumes? And you are able to tell us that what you think about this guy with a red jersey, what you think about this lady with a gray coat. So you're able to tell us what you actually think about this. So this is really, really important, knowing the elements of design. Secondly, the other thing that you're able to see apart from the costume is that each one of them has a special hairstyle. Did you guys notice that? Each one of them, their hairstyle does not look like they just woke up like that. It looks like it's designed. Do you agree with me on that? Even if you're on Facebook, you can put your comments, or on YouTube, please give us your comments so that you can see that we are all together. But you'll agree with me that all these 4 people, their hairstyle is designed to bring out a particular meaning. And that's why you see the guy in red looks more relaxed and chilled and looks rich and sporty and all that and confident. When you look at this other lady in gray, she looks like a lady who's been oppressed by her culture. She doesn't look happy, and it's because of even the hairstyle somewhat, even if she looks classy, the hairstyle looks a bit ragged. And when you look at the other girl the younger girl, you see, she's looking proper, like somebody who's trying to fit into a bureaucratic world. And when you see the guy with the white hair, you can tell, it's designed just to bring out their character, just to tell us more information about the character. So you can see the messaging that is coming through the hairstyle. So some people will not read into the hairstyle, but even a hairstyle with an actor in a movie is actually something you need to be making a very deliberate decision on. Just what hairstyle are you going to put on that actor? That's very, very important. The third thing that you will see in the character design is actually the makeup. I don't know whether you guys are able to see this, but the makeup on the face, like of this lady with a gray suit, the lady that we said looks like she's from Britain. If you look at her suit, you're able to see that her suit looks a bit, British and blah, blah, blah. But when you look at her face, it's like they put some wrinkles or some makeup on her face to make her look a bit older and a bit stressed. So you can even take your actor who looks absolutely beautiful, make them up in a way that they look older than they are, look younger than they are, have different colors of eyes, look like they are distressed and all that. Femi? Yes, look like they are distressed and all that, because that is going to actually, determine how they look. So it's important for you to also do makeup. And makeup does not mean makeup like putting foundation and putting a lipstick on someone. This is makeup that can make someone look very ugly, make someone a vampire, make them look like a zombie, make them look like so beautiful and elegant, make them look old, make them look young, make them look like an alien. That's the kind of makeup we do in film, and that is part of production design department. Now, the production design department is actually also in some countries referred to as the art department, and this is the work they do. They just come and find a location, establish the set, organize the set and decor, and they organize the props that are supposed to be there. They put in some little lighting design to add some color. And of course, the lights that are lighting this scene have contributed to the way we are seeing this thing. What do I mean? And this is something I learned from Femi just the other day about HMI lights and the way they change the way the scene appears. So also, what you're seeing is a photo taken with a camera. That means it's a screenshot actually, taken with a camera. It's a screenshot of a movie. So that means also the lighting that is lighting these people and this set allows you to see the set the way it looks like. So there's a lot that goes in between production design and camera department, because you design and then the camera department captures what you're designing. I hope that's clear. And also remember, you're designing three things. You're designing the lighting that can appear in front of your set. You're designing the set itself, where you're putting in decor and properties, and then you're designing the characters. Each character has a different personality in your movie, and they all have got to be designed. So when you're looking at a movie and you're appreciating the movie, and you want to see what job did the production designer do to contribute to the telling of the story, then you'll be looking at those 7 elements of design. How did they go about designing this? And when you're looking at your own movie as well and trying to decide how can I give the best performance of my movie in terms of these designs and everything, then again you would be looking at these same 7 elements of design that will actually help you to make your decisions. So can you move forward, Lizzie? Scroll forward to the next slide. So I have some few examples I want to show you. Lizzie? Yes, thank you. So I want to show you examples of props and costumes. This is the Gladiator movie. Can you guys say the props you're seeing in that? Maybe I'll start with Mutheki. Tell me, which props are you seeing and costumes? Just name one.
A sword.
The sword. You're seeing a sword is a prop, isn't it? Okay. Salome, are you seeing another prop? Again, are you seeing the set, guys? Are you able to see the set? Nancian, are you able to see the set in this picture? So normally, when you're actually doing this, you'll see the set. The set is, you can see like right now, the set is in like a stadium. A stadium. So you see the set, then you'll see the characters, then you'll see the props. You'll see all the elements of design if you look closely. You see the costume, you see the hairstyle, you see the makeup. It's a small picture, but you see a lot of things. Move to the next slide. I just wanted to show you a couple of things, and there are pictures of different movies. Lizzie, move to the next slide. Yeah, so here it's a good example of a set, a big set with characters. And what I like about this picture is that you're able to see how people also design sets outside. Because most people think that when you're designing a set, it has to be indoors. It can also be outdoors. And you can see even the people, the way they've been made. And these are people who have been multiplied through an animation technique, actually. So this is the movie set of Cleopatra. And you're able to see again how it looks like. Let's move to the next slide. And you're able to see in this one, it's the set is the prominent thing and the decoration of the set. And then just a few fill-ups with the characters. Move to the next one. The gladiator again. So you're able to see again the set, you're able to see the characters, you're able to see their costumes, you're able to see the props, those shields that they're using, but you're not able, because it's a long shot, you're not able to see the makeup, the hairstyle, and the wardrobe, but at least you're able to see some elements of design in that frame. Move to the next one. Lizzie, is it me who's slow? Lizzie, can you move to the next slide? Okay, so again, you're able to see, like, this is the set of the Ben-Hur movie in 1959. Okay, so you're able to see the white horses, then you're able to see the brown horses, and actually you see, like in this set, you're able to see different classes of people. So I don't know whether you can see this, but Nachoka, can you see a class different? Who is more superior than the other people in this frame? Is it the guy on the white horses or the guy in the brown horses? Who looks like the leader?
I think the one in on white horses.
Yeah, so the guy in white horses definitely looks like a leader. And this is borrowing from the Roman culture, because you're able to see the setting. You're able to understand. The guy in the white horses is like a boss. These other guys are just following him. And you're able to see, even when you look at that picture, the frame, you see that actually the horses appear bigger. They appear more royal. So you're able to actually tell who's the boss, and you can see he's alone and he looks powerful in the frame because he's also been given a very big part of the frame, and all the other elements of design have been given a very small part of the frame, though they have a lot of people in them. Again, you're able to see that. Can you move to the next slide, please? Femi, you can chip in. Yeah, so move to the next slide. Lizzie? I think Lizzie is also having a problem scrolling. Okay, let me see if I can go. I'm an admin, but yeah, so the next one is that picture. This is the Batman. Let me just return to the previous picture. Yeah, so this is the Batman movie in 1939. Again, you can see some elements of design. What elements of design can you guys see? Just mention, David, you can also mention one.
Makeup.
You can see makeup on this guy who's wearing like a purple suit. There's makeup that has been done on his face, definitely. What else can you guys see? Muteki, tell me another element of design you can see.
Costumes.
Costumes stand out in this one. In this one, costumes and makeup and character design stands out more than the set, isn't it? And you agree with me on that. So again, you see, depending on the movie which you're making, again, there are all these things that are standing out in each and every scene that you're looking at. Okay, so that is the set of the Batman. So you get to agree with us that in the big movies you watch, they really pay attention a lot to the production design. And therefore, that brings me to the topic that actually we are supposed to be looking at today, which is analyzing cinematography in a film. And when you're analyzing cinematography in a film, what are some of the things you'll be analyzing? And I know traditionally we've used other things, and now the industry is growing. And filmmakers are using new techniques by the day to change how we've been analyzing cinematography. People have come up with new things that they are doing that they never used to do before. So when you're analyzing cinematography, you need to analyze it from the perspective of how did the director of photography and his entire team play a major role using the cinematic techniques to actually help the director in telling the story. Things, small things like lenses, you know. Yeah, Koagile, you're saying that you saw lighting design in that Batman thing. Yeah, there was very good lighting design, by the way. Yeah, in that Batman frame that we showed. So when you're looking at cinematography, you're looking at, there's these guys who work in the camera department. They're experts in operating the camera, setting up the light. But how much value did these guys add to the movie? So when you see somebody winning Best Cinematographer in the Oscars, it means this person has been outstanding in the way they use the camera and the lighting that is used to light the set and the subject. The way they used it, the kind of lens they use, the kind of camera settings they use, the kind of camera movements they used, the type of camera equipment, the choice of which camera equipment they would use for the production. So all these choices that they made, how did they affect how we saw the final film? And that's why you see on this first slide, I've just listed the things down, like in terms of what is it that you look at when you're analyzing cinematography. Of course, if you want to sleep well when you're shooting your movie, better have a very good director of photography, somebody 500%. They understand their camera, they understand the kind of camera equipment you need to use. They've been operating the camera every day of their life, or they've just been using the camera. Somebody that likes to research and likes to know the new techniques, likes to try them out. Somebody who's not afraid to take a risk to bring new life to your production. And if I was going to talk about cinematography, it would be very sad if I wouldn't mention one of the movies that has set the record in terms of best cinematographic work over like 100 years. And this movie is called The Citizen Kane, which has actually been able to set a standard. The cinematographer of this movie had no idea about filmmaking, and he shot everything in deep focus. But one of the things that people talk about Citizen Kane is the cinematography, especially because Citizen Kane is a black and white film. But the cinematographic techniques, they attract your eyes and they attract your attention. You just got to see them. And that has been one major thing that actually we are forced to look at when we look at Citizen Kane movie, and why one of the prizes that Citizen Kane movie won at the Academy, it is actually this prize of best cinematography, because the way they just filmed was out of this world, and it was in 1941. So the director of photography is a very important person. And what I want to tell you guys, first of all, when you're analyzing any movie, like let's say you're analyzing the writing, if you're analyzing the writing, you'll have to check who are the writers of this movie. That's the director. So please try to identify their names and their professional experience so that you can learn from them. All right. So let's say you say one of the writers of Godfather movie was Francis Ford Coppola, because he was the director. Who was the real screenwriter? What is his profile? And who was the editor? So those three guys came together to help write the movie that we are now appreciating. So can you kindly give them some respect and first study them? At least know their names. All right, who is this person? What is their profile? What else have they done? Because most probably, if you like a movie they've done cinematography on, you'd like even another movie they've done cinematography on again. What does that teach you? It teaches you how to start selecting and seeing which department you want to fall into place, and also gives you the reason behind why this person was able to deliver the results the way they delivered. So don't just study the good cinematography, study the director of photography of the movie you're studying, so that you can be able to know how comes they are really good at what they do. Who are they? What do they do? How did they grow their skills? How do they reason? How do they think about cinematography? And that's the beauty of film appreciation. When I'm appreciating a film, I like to read more about the people who made the film. I read a lot about them. I stalk them on Instagram. I stalk them on Facebook. I stalk them on LinkedIn. I stalk them on IMDb to see their title credits, so that I can actually go and read more about their work, so that I can know. So the director of photography, if you like his work, most probably you'll be able to see why you like his work. It's because he's been practicing this. Like in the US, for you to become a director of photography in a studio film, you've got to have more than 8 years of experience. You've got to have studied law and worked on a film set for so many years, so that you can be allowed to take that precious title of director of photography, meaning you're in charge of the entire camera equipment in that space. You're in charge of making sure that you know this camera equipment will be used like this, like that in your film. Also, you need to know the cinematic properties of a shot, which is composition, camera movements, depth of field. There are so many terms that we use when it comes to cinematography, so many technical terms that you need to know about, when it comes to what makes a shot interesting. And I'm going to be sharing with you some couple of movies to show you some really crazy cinematographic things that have been done in the past. Again, so you need to know those cinematic properties of that shot. You need to look at the kind of film camera that was used a long time ago. They used to use a chemically treated film. When I did this presentation a long time ago, again, the film stock was also very paramount. Right now, we have moved through so much to digital that we don't use the chemically treated film anymore. So the like that brown thing that look like a negative. For some of you who are born maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, you got to see that camera, which used to print photos with negatives. So that is also what was used for motion picture cameras for a long time. But then we started moving on slowly to digital cameras, which don't use that. So the color of shots, using lighting to create a particular color effect and record something looking really spectacular. The lighting, the lenses, the framing of your shot, the camera movement, the speed and length of a shot. Those are cinematic properties of a shot that we normally look at when we're analyzing. How did the people who are doing the cinematography in your film actually look at these things? All right. Oh gosh, guys. Can you hear me, guys? Just confirm that you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry, I got lost. I'm going to go back. So I was just going to start you guys up with the modern techniques that have been used and in cinematography. And what I was trying to tell you guys is when you look at the way the cinematographer has done his things, it's very easy to see his contribution. First of all, a cinematographer should actually be able to keep up to date with, oh, excuse the noise, guys, a bit, just finish and then I'll continue. Yeah, okay. So, actually, you're able to see the way the people are using new techniques to make the films in modern time. So that's very important. Like nowadays, a long time ago, we used to shoot things by taking a tripod, putting it in front, and shooting all the angles differently. We never used to have a lot of daring camera movements and camera composition in movies. But as these young people, these young cinematographers are coming on to speed, now these young cinematographers are actually starting to move a lot with the camera. They're preferring to take more of the long takes. What is a long take? Something that you could have spent 10 hours or 8 hours in a day to shoot, maybe it's a 10 minutes part of a film. One person will prefer to go with a camera in a house, find Rachel taking breakfast, like track Rachel as she moves, go with her to the car, get into the car with her, go with her to the supermarket. The camera has not said cut. When the director just said action, all that moment, the director is not saying cut. They'll say cut until when Rachel reaches a particular place after 10 minutes. So it means they're taking all the shots like continuously by moving with the subject. This is a new modern technique that filmmakers have adapted, which is called the long take. So normally a take a long time ago used to be like, I'm having a conversation with David. If I'm having a conversation with David and this conversation is lasting 3 minutes, we would first take a master shot where we just put a camera standing somewhere in the tripod for 3 minutes. It just records us doing the conversation for a long shot. Then the camera would come behind my back and take an over the shoulder shot, again set on the tripod, and then record for 3 minutes. Then it will go the other side and take. So the editors would cut these shots into each other. But nowadays, people are like, let's just take all these shots at once. So they're holding the camera like this and they're moving the camera. They're revealing the shot. So I don't know whether you guys agree with me that there's a lot of movement on our screens that allows us now to have a long take. It's like a CCTV camera. It's just like you're seeing either the movement of actors, which is called blocking, or you're seeing the movement of the camera on your screen. So that is one thing that we do like nowadays, which is like a long take where you're combining a couple of techniques that are being used. So when you're watching the movies, I would like you to look at that. Femi, do you have a comment about that? Yeah.
So thank you very much, Rachel. Like Rachel has said, the camera technique is really getting more original and more realistic, because do not forget, camera is supposed to be the eyes, our eyes as human beings. So, and the way we see things, the way from the real life situation, the cinematographer, we are getting to that point that we want to also make the camera see the same. So, having not to be cutting from the post-production, there are several things as well presently, especially series online. So I would like you guys to always go watching movies, series, different movies, so that you'll be getting to know different kind of technique. So there's this type that is basically movement, and when you have that kind of style, which is you are moving from one, you are showing the POV shots, you are showing the that means the point of view of each character. You are moving the character. You are not cutting. That also makes the work to be engaging. So we get to understand that the audience level of intelligence is at this very increased level where we need to, as filmmakers, engage the audience more. because of the lack of patience, the social media and all those distractions that's everywhere now, if you are as a filmmaker, if you are not able to engage the audience more, then most your job might not be able to have much streaming and also much people getting to know your job more better. So that is the reason, one of the reasons why we are doing that. So I'd like to get back to Rachel.
Okay, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to give you those examples. I don't know whether you can read the examples on the screen. You know, you need to check Prism Badman, which is a popular example of this technique. Prism, you see the second last line of this slide. You're able to see that movie, which you can check even after this class and be able to watch to see that technique. But I promise you, because I know here we can get flagged off for copyright, I have all these techniques. I'm going to send them on the WhatsApp group during the break, and you're going to be able to see all these techniques, like how they've been applied in different movies, right? So that's one of the techniques that we are studying nowadays. The other one is the okay, yeah. So even the Panic Room is another movie that actually shows this technique, the the technique of the long take. All right. Are you with me here, Lizzie, please? Because I'm really having a hard time. Lizzie, are you here? Elizabeth? Okay, guys, I'm having a hard time moving through the presentation, but I'm going to try. Yeah, so we've looked at the long take. So I'm just trying to go to the next one so that I can show you. So I'll show you those clips and you'll be able to see, but you can see this is like long take technique, which is used in action sequences mostly. When you're watching like an action film, you don't want to stop. When somebody starts running, you're following them all the way to the camera is following them. So if you're filming like an what is it called? Like wait. I think, sorry guys, let me just go back. Lizzie, are you here? Are you helping me or am I on my own? Elizabeth.
I'm here.
Because now I'm not getting you're going front and backward. Can you go back to the first slide I was in so that I make sure I don't jump anything? There, go to the next one now. Go to the next slide. Yeah, so I was saying the long take is actually used in active in action sequences, because especially when people are moving, you know, you can use it and it will give you a very good effect. Like in our movie, which we are going to be shooting the trailer, you can see that at some point there's going to be a kidnapping happening and people are going to start moving. So I already know that Sebastian is going to film that with a long take kind of thing. He's not going to want to keep on cutting, because if he's cutting, it's like it's very traditional. The audiences nowadays are very aware. They love those techniques. They love to move with the subjects as they are moving. They don't love to be cut short. So when you cut some of these sequences, you can face a lot of continuity issues at the end of it. Again, as you can see on your slide, the clip from Panic Room, it shows the camera floating through the banisters, keyholes, coffee pot handles. It looks all impossible, doesn't it? So you look at it and I'll show you that I have that clip, and you'll be able to see how it's tracking. Some people track people nowadays using a drone. I really like it. So the other technique that people are using nowadays is the camera interaction, where they are taking you as the viewers inside the action. Like, let's say when people are fighting, you feel like they are boxing you. It's like the camera is inside, in between two people who are fighting. And this is another technique that they've been using, where the camera is like acting. It's like part of the acting. You see the camera moving. You see the camera shaking when it's in the room. When people are fighting, you see like the camera shaking happening, and it's inside actually the fight. And this is really nice technique that people have also started using. Makes you feel like you're inside the movie, because the camera, where the camera is, that's where the viewer is. So this technique is also called camera interaction, and it's when the camera exists within a scene So, like for instance, I don't know whether you guys have seen this, like the blood hits the TV. The blood spats into your TV. It's because they're using something like GoPro cameras and stuff like that, which you can spit on. Or you see somebody inside the swimming pool, very much down there swimming or drowning, and that is a GoPro camera which has been put with them down there to record them. So it's with them. So you go with the actor wherever they are. And that's what is called the camera interaction. And you can see like there's one blood spatter example in Saving Private Ryan film. Of course, you also you can't see this technique because often it's considered as amateur if you can see that the technique is being used. So it's supposed to be so smooth. So the cinematographers perform this very smoothly so that you're able to see it looking the way it's looking. You can also check Star Trek, the original series. The camera is not a spectator. Sometimes you watch things from afar, but the camera is inside the scene in Star Trek. So it makes you feel like you're there in the scene. Many films like the Bourne trilogy, Captain America, Civil War, they use this during the first scenes just to get you inside the war and get your emotions up and down so you can see those. And also, the techniques is not just about getting the lens dirty. You're able to see many other things that come out of the technique. Like what I was telling you, for me, what I love most is when like there's a fight scene like Jason Statham, and I'm going to show you a clip that he did. He's such a fighter. So when he's fighting with his friend, then you're able to see like the camera is shaking. You're able to feel like you're part of the commotion, like your life is in danger, and it's just the camera techniques that are making you feel that. Again, these are some of the new cinematographic techniques that are being used by movies that you should look out for. So mostly when you want to get such techniques, one of the things that is used is of course GoPro. For instance, when you watch the film like The Martian, which was filmed using a GoPro, you're able to see a lot of this, and you're also able to see a lot of techniques. And what I would encourage you to do when you're watching such, watch what kind of equipment they use and watch the thinking behind using those particular techniques. And also watch how much value does camera interaction bring to the film as well. And these are new techniques, so they are very relevant for all of you guys to use right now. So the other thing I want you to check is this technique. It's called text on screen. I don't know whether you guys have seen this, but nowadays when people are texting, you don't need to film their phone. The text can just be on the TV screen and it will show something. So the text on screen is when, instead of using a device that the characters are using like a phone or anything to text, you just type the graphics on the screen and you put them. There's a way you put them during editing, and viewers now know that that's a text message that is going on between two people, instead of, for instance, trying to zoom into a WhatsApp or something else that people are using. People are also using this technology to just communicate that these guys are texting in the screen, and so on and so forth. So this is also another technique that is being used by people who are making films. That means the cinematographers. Yeah, so instead of showing the device that the characters are using to communicate, text will appear on the screen. Like in the movie Disconnect, this happens when Batman's character is speaking to another person through his computer screen. Even a Kenyan movie called Pumzi, which you can even watch on the screen, they use this technique a lot. It's called text on screen, where you're telling a story, and this is art, this is creative. So you need to know the new things that happen. So also, this is often happens in the hit Netflix series House of Cards and BBC's Sherlock. They also use this a lot. So you can check all this and you'll be able to see how this technique is being used by cinematographers. So it's easier, for the audience to see the messages without having a lot of interference. And there's a lot of movies that actually show a combination of these techniques that I've just told you. For example, Kill Bill, you're able to see The films are unique. They are unique in large part because of the cinematographers. You know, when you look at the clip like now from that Kill Bill, you're able to see all those different techniques. I'll send you a clip. It's not Kill Bill, but it's another one. I'll send you on the WhatsApp, and you'll be able to see how they've been able to use different camera. It's called panoramic. You'll be able to see how they've been able to use one take, long take, and all those techniques to actually make the film. So nobody wants to watch static shots anymore. I hope you agree with me, David. Do you want to watch films just stationary, or do you want to move with the actors? Yes, so people prefer to be moving with the actors. So you must keep up with the audiences and what they prefer. So if you give them very static things, they are not going to be very happy about it. So is there anybody who has questions about how to analyze cinematography and how to think about it, some of the things that you'll be looking at? Because cinematography is not just about like how you've selected the camera equipment and everything. It's also the major choices you make about how to film a particular scene. And I'm sure, Muteki, I don't know whether you agree with me that people make this deliberately, these decisions to deliberately film a particular scene in a particular way. Do you now understand that? That is the cinematographer who has to be creative to see what techniques to use?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. Salome, are you understanding? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm understanding.
All right. And Nanjan, I hope you're also on the same page. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm hoping you guys, after this, you can be able to watch a movie. Yeah. You can be able to watch a movie. Nancy-Ann, you're on the same page. Sorry, I didn't hear you. I thought maybe you were not able to switch on your mic.
Yes, yes, you're on the
Uh,
same page.
okay. Thank you. So you can see that really watching a movie is not just watching a movie. You're watching a movie and you're learning from the movie. And this is what we call film appreciation. And when you're able to watch a movie and learn from it, when it comes to the time for you to make your own movie, it will be very easy for you to think about what do you need to do. Okay? So this is very, very important. Okay? So so we are moving into the next topic, which is acting for film. And I just want to quickly tell you some of the things that we will analyze. These are some of the films I'm just swiping through, like Vertigo. These are films that had really great cinematographers who did a fantastic job. And you can see what I was telling you, like when you're looking at the film, look at the person. Like now, when you look at the Vertigo, you're able to see who was the cinematographer. Okay, you're able to see who was the director, and you're able to see like this is Robert Bax. He was the cinematographer of Vertigo. And he was Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, of course, is one of the most I don't know, respected directors of all time in the film industry in the world. And then if you hear that Alfred Hitchcock as a director actually says that Robert Bax was one of his favorite directors of photography, that's amazing. And they work together in more than 10 movies. So that means when this director gets a job, he gives that job to actually his favorite cinematographer because of his creativity, and including the successes: Strangers on a Train, 1951, Rear Window, 1954, Vertigo, 1968, The Birds, 1963. And also, he's commonly referred to as the chameleon due to his flexibility and facility to adapt according to the film and the director. So this cinematographer is always very flexible, and he knows how to study his director, see the directing style, and actually adjust accordingly. And you can see Hitchcock was one among the few directors who survived the advent of colored movies. And probably one of the main reasons for that was having Bax by his side. So the success of a director could be contributed to greatly by the greatness of the cinematographer of that movie. Also, you see, the cinematographer would later do very audacious coloring experiences, probably very influenced by Hitchcock, that sealed the reputation of his big range of styles. The highest point was in the feverish contrast in the palette of the Money 1964. So Bax won the Cinematography Academy Awards for Best Cinematography. Imagine, in 1955 for his work on To Catch a Thief. Also, although he worked in other great productions, okay, such as The Spirit of St. Louis and The Music Man 1962, his ongoing reputation relies on the outstanding work he did with the master, Alfred Hitchcock. So you can see, when you read more about the cinematographer, then you're able to see their contribution in a film. So I've covered a couple of cinematographers in this presentation, which I'll share with you later after we finish. So you're also able to see like this wonderful movie starring even, I think this Brad Pitt, yeah? That's who. Yeah. Yeah. So you're able to see the assassination of Jesse James by coward Robert Ford. Again, you're able to see the cinematographer. And when you read the cinematographer's story, you see he's known for his affection for realistic and simple aesthetics. He once said that there is nothing worse than an auspicious shot, and his rather tasteful modesty has made him one of the most appreciated cinematographers among film lovers. And in his adolescence, Dickens wanted to be a painter. He studied graphic design, and in the birth of a school of art and design, where he discovered his passion for photography. Probably his ability for composing and fascinating shots comes from his primordial interest, showing how related cinematography is to painting. And when you look at his shots, you're able to see the coloring, the artistic shots that he's taking. When you look like at a shot like the one I've just shown you before, this one, yeah, you're just able to see there's some art in that shot, very artistic shots, the way it's been taken, and that's because for him, he also has skills in painting. Femi, you want to say something?
Just jump into it.
Yeah, so we are looking at some of the cinematographers, and we are going through them, and we are actually reading why they became good cinematographers. So he wanted, like this guy who did that cinematography, wanted to be a painter.
Yeah.
So he studied graphic design and all that. So he discovered his passion in photography. Probably his ability for composing fascinating shots came from interest in showing how cinematography is related to painting. So the skills that someone has, especially in design and something like that, can actually affect their success in cinematography. And also, I think for this guy, his success is in bringing something that looks a bit new because of his affinity to painting.
Yeah.
So his shots look a bit new. They don't look like the other shots. Again, you find such a person will be winning film festivals around the world because they're bringing something new. And when the jurors are watching, they'll see something special about this and they'll start studying. So you look at, he's very, first of all, simple, and I like that. I'm a kind of a director who loves simplicity. If you can just try to show things in the most simple way, it's the best way. Simplicity is the best way to win the game. Also, not trying to be perfectionist and all that. So you can see again, when you're analyzing a film, it's very important to analyze who is the cinematographer. That's very, very important. So you can see another film, and this is a later film. This is In the Mood of Love, 2000. Again, you can see this cinematographer and his style. And this was done by Christopher Doyle. He was the cinematographer, and at only 63, Australian Christopher Doyle has been credited in approximately 100 movies and has won awards in important film festivals such as Cannes and Venice. In his 20s, Doyle moved to China, where he learned the language and traveled around Asia, working in different things, as a doctor of Chinese medicine in Thailand, for example. His interest in photography started in the late 70s, but it was only in 1983 that he became a cinematographer. According to him, it happened by accident. Doyle has worked with many important directors, but most acclaimed and noteworthy work was done during his partnership with the Wong King-wai, which lasted 15 years. So Doyle was responsible for the fascinating colors and framings achieved in the director's most remarkable films, such as Days of Being Wild, 1991, Ashes of Time, 1994, Chuckings Express, 1994, In the Mood of Love, 2000, and 2046, 2004. In the last decade, important films he was cinematographer for include Guys Van Sant, Paranoid Park, Charmax, The Limit of Control, 2009, with an average of 4 movies a year. Doyle is tracing his path to become one of the most important figures in film history. And you can see, again, what I told you about 9,000 hours. I read the book Outliers, my favorite book to read in the world. Whenever I get disappointed with myself and my work ethic, I always go back to read that book. And I suggest that each one of you should take time, anyone who loves to read that book. And you can even listen to the audio. I think there's an audio book of the Outliers that is out, depending on how much you can concentrate. I would advise you guys to watch that book that says that it studied the lives of the most richest and successful people in the world. And they got to see that all these people had to work over 9,000 hours doing the same thing over and over again so that they could become good at what they do. And when I read this story of Christopher Doyle as a cinematographer, I'm encouraged that he's done 100 films. How many people can say that I've done 100 films? I've been a cinematographer in 100 films. And if you want to become a cinematographer, are you willing to compete with him? Are you producing something with your phone? Or are you waiting until the day you'll have money or you get a good job so that you can do this? So it's important to also be able to check on that. So I hope you've been able to learn a lot. I don't know whether Femi, before I move from cinematography, analyzing cinematography in a movie. I don't know, because I know you're a cinematographer. Maybe do you have something else to add into things that people should look out when it comes to cinematography? Because I can see we still have 30 minutes. I think we can cover acting as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you, Rachel. Very important that we need to thing that we need to know about cinematography is for you to be a very good cinematographer, you need to be a very good photographer because the act of handling a camera, there's actually 3 levels. Like I always tell people, if they really know what they are doing, the first stage is the photography stage, which is the still picture. Then you move to videography, which is all about motion as well. But the act of the motion in videography is not as that technical to that of the highest level, which happen to be the cinematography level. You will notice from the different cinematographer that Rachel has been able to analyze, they started as photographers, where they understand the act of images, the act of putting props, design images into making sure that all these components are able to communicate. Like the last scene, the picture that I was able to see about the love. So he said something about the love, where the lady, she's in this room together with the man, and there's this very appealing romantic picture that we're able to. When you see this picture alone, something comes to your mind, and what comes to your mind is that there is particular information that is all embedded in this picture alone. And you, as a cinematographer, which often starts from the still aspect, you must be able to understand the reason why this set is created this way. First, as a cinematographer, as I am, the beauty of this, the number one thing that I can see from this is the way the lighting we're able to use. There are different components of lighting coming into play this way. And in this one, we are seeing something that looks reddish. We are looking at something that also looks yellowish. We are looking at something that looks dark. That means from the background. These 3 lighting coming together. So I can be able to interpret that this lady, she's sad, but it is not just being sad. She's also in a state of love. That shows that red field. The harsh toxin light is able to show the aspect of the sadness. The dark background from the curtain area is showing that state of confusion. Where am I going to go? What is going to happen? Now, filmmakers, the very established filmmakers, when they see this, this is a beauty on its own. Some of these filmmakers can even take just these two pictures and they hang it on their wall. That is going to show how deep you understand what picture, even from the picture, then you can interpret the scene, and this scene must connect. So when it comes to the cinematography, is the holistic of both the still and the picture image and every other element that are on that same scene. You as a cinematographer, you must, the first step is that you must be able to have this, what is this thing in your head? Because there you must have an idea in your head which you now want to interpret for people to see, because most of the time it is a very high level of creativity, and that is why you see also that most of these directors, the very good directors, they understand what cinematography is all about. Because if you do not understand, sometimes it might be so difficult as a director for you to interpret in visuals, because cinematographer interprets scenes, interprets ideas in visuals, and that's what makes us to be different from the sound engineer who now interpret it in form of audio. And as a director, you must be able to know the concept of it so that your idea can easily be interpreted if you are not the one handling the camera to the what's it called, the cinematographer. So it's very important that we understand that for you to really understand that level, you need to understand the level of cinematography. You first of all need to understand the basics of photography. And what are one of the basics of photography that we're talking about? What is the rule of third? Or what is the rule of centralization? What is the rule of having to understand the component of lighting together with the image and other elements that are going to be involved? What are the depth of field that you need to have to interpret it, to separate the image from the background? And also, what are the rule of 180 to be able to understand how you are going to your camera angle, how you are going to have conversation or dialogue that will not be opposite in nature, that can be able to be interpreted in form of their location where the image are standing, and how they are able to communicate each dialogue to themselves, and especially when it now comes to the point of post-production. Because if you as a cinematographer, you do not understand some of these basics rule of law that are involved in this aspect of photography, which now leads to the aspect of cinematography, it's going to be very, very difficult when we now get to the post-production for even the editor to be able to understand what you have been able to, the clips that you have been able to actually dish out in during the production. So you now see that everything as goes is an holistic process, because you as a cinematographer, if you do not understand these laws and how these laws actually affect each other, definitely is not going to affect the post-production. And that's why you see some of the very good projects at the beginning, the post-production is nowhere to be found, and you see such projects, they now get to the point that they are not able to be successful. Some of these projects, not that the editor are bad, but sometimes with the experience and the things I've seen over the years, is that when the cinematographer failed, then the post-production aspect will also fail. So you see that there's a lot responsibility that is placed on cinematographer, because they, if together with the director and every other department in the film, we determine the output of the project. And since the cinematographer is at the point of interpreting the visuals, do not forget, I continue to say the visuals, because we separate the cinematographer from the sound engineer, because the sound people are supposed to give us everything that concerns the audio. So you as a cinematographer, we are expecting more of the visual interpretation of the vision of the project. So, and that will make you to stand out from every other cinematographer that you're going to get to meet along the line for on the film production process. So before we move on this, is there anybody that has question about what we have said so far, and also the pictures that we are also having on our screen? Is there any? I can see that there is a lot of people that are disconnected, devices are disconnected, but I guess a lot of us are still here. Nachoka, you are disconnected. So, but is there any question? I'm still here to answer the question before Rachel will take over. I can see that these people.
That's Liz.
Natoki. Natoki, is there anybody from the? Is there any question that we need to that I need to attend to from you guys on based on the cinematography aspect? Please let's get this done. Questions? So if there is no question, are we? Please, can I? Is that? Are we here with me? How many of us are here? Please, let's signify so that I can only see one person to be live here, aside from Liz. Am I? Are we here? Rachel, since most of them they are not.
Okay. They're here. I think I can see them.
I'm here.
Okay, guys, I think thank you Tony so much for that. And I think even before we go to acting, I think what can somebody mute their mic? I don't know whose mic is on. Yeah. So I think from what we've learned today, I think we will rather hold it there at production design and cinematography to make you guys reflect and try to watch some movies. I encourage you guys, make sure to watch one of the movies I highlighted in the group, and I'm going to give you the references to these movies so that you're able to watch them. And when you watch them, you can be able to try and analyze this movie a bit deeper in production design, in writing, in cinematography. I'm taking time to show you this because the best way to learn how to make a film, especially when you're in this online space, is by watching other people's movies. And as Femi always says, watch a movie if you can every day. Try to watch a movie and learn. You know, for me nowadays, I reduced my watching of movies because I became a producer. But don't copy me because, you know, for me, I'm looking at the money. I'm reading more about how people are making money. I'm not, and that's why you see when I'm making movies, sometimes I'll be left behind with the techniques. So you need to watch movies. If you especially want to work under the director in the creative department, you need to start understanding what department should I be working in the film production, and if I'm working in this department, what is happening. So yeah, so this is very, very important. And now I wanted to take the main takeaways, and then next time we can start with acting. I've realized that I have also analyzed acting quite so much, such that if I start it today, maybe I'll not be able to finish it because I have another slide just studying different actors and their acting techniques. So I would rather not confuse you. Start today and then next time I'll need to start. So next time, next Saturday, we are going to look at how to look at acting and how to look at editing. Most probably, I know we should be comfortably able to do that. So I want to take your main takeaways from this class of today. Please let me know, what have you learned in this class today? Main takeaway, Nachoka is saying she's in the backstage. Lizzie, please. Yeah. Oh, we lost Mutheki. Okay. Nachoka, your sound is not connected. That's why she can't add you. So let's go to Salome. Tell us what was your main takeaway for today's lesson? Kwahile also write for us on the online platform. What was your main takeaway? Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
My main takeaway today is I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Being a new student. And yes.
Okay, what have you learned? What is one of the lessons you've left with today? Tell us just one thing you've learned. One. Yeah.
Cinematography, I've learned about designing.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about designing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Salome. I think your sound is distorted, but you're saying you've learned a lot about designing. David, what's your main takeaway before I go to Nancian?
My main takeaway from this session
Mm.
is that I've learned about the elements of design
Mm.
for a movie to be in a very professional way.
Yeah, the phone is on. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, you need to make sure the lights in the movie they are set professionally,
Yeah.
and you need to design you need to put your decorations.
Yeah.
You need to make sure the costumes match the description of the characters in the movie. You need to make sure makeups are in place, and also one thing I like about the cinematography session, it's that a very good cinema director has always been working with a very good cinematographer. I think that thing is it's so amazing. Meaning all these directors they have been with good cinematographer, and these are two people that make sure the movie becomes what it is. So if the director and the cinematographer they work together hand in hand and they do the best of their effort, they can actually make a very good movie. A good director needs a good cinematographer, and cinematographer also needs a good director. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing, David. Is Mutheki here? Yeah, Mutheki, can you tell us your main takeaway for today?
I learned about the aspects of design
Yeah.
and how they're important in a movie, and like how as the set design like influences the quality of the movie. And I also learned a lot about cinematography and
Yeah.
like how there are different types of shooting a movie and how also lighting plays an important part in making a movie.
Awesome, awesome. I'm very encouraged to see, especially even the new students have learnt a lot. I think the next person is Nachoka. Nachoka, can you be able to talk? What was your main takeaway? Oh, I think Nachoka, are you able to talk? Okay, Nancian?
One of my main takeaways was about the setup, like the props, the makeup, the wardrobe design, and the lighting, just to make sure that you do not confuse your audience with the message that you want to portray. Then the next one is about the movement of camera. How nowadays we are doing it, and we're not taking still images, that we move around with the camera, whether it's on shoulder when you're trying to get someone's. When you're trying to get an image of something or something you want to portray, which is quite interesting because I didn't know sometimes you can move around with the camera. So that means we need strong people. Another thing is about the movies. I think I'd have to look at the movies and see the setup again. Those the movies that you've given us. I don't know if you could tell us one by one which one. I can remember Gladiator and the other one I can't remember. So thank you.
Oh,
Those are my main takeaways.
Don't take away.
and I'm going to be sending you guys some clips right now on our WhatsApp platform, so you can watch the different techniques during the break. Yeah, so thank you very much. And I think, Koagile, you're saying my main takeaway. I've learned that everything appears in the picture, or in picture or script have to relate to the story. Yeah, that is very important. Actually, the picture is actually telling the written story. So definitely it's just like you're taking the written story and telling it, and that's why we keep going back to the three writers of the story. And when what we've been analyzing today is people who work under the director, and you can see that the director has to be careful who his production designer is and who his cinematographer is. Lizzie, I know you've learned this so many times, but I know you might have a takeaway for today. Please share with us your takeaway.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So for me, in today's lesson, it's just like always. film is a process to start with. It's not an event. And if a good director is able to coordinate his set, and if he's working with competent people, like a good cinematographer, he's able to cinematographer and also production designer, they're able to achieve. The other thing I've learned is that a good cinematographer can actually make it to becoming a good director if they are able to take direction from a director, from the whole aspect of making a film. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. That's true. Actually, many writers, many people who work directly under the director, that is writer, cinematographer, editors, can become good directors. They actually, most of those are the ones who become good directors. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I've enjoyed the class. Looking forward to the next session. It's coming up in 11:45 a.m. Kenyan time. That is East African time. Looking forward to see all students, and we are coming back to the writing class, where we're going to be continuing about how to write our screenplay with Nena. And I know Femi will jump in once in a while to do this, and I'll also jump in. There are some elements we want to put together when it comes to screenwriting. So we're going to have like a plenary where she's going to be presenting like for 45 minutes, and then we're going to have a discussion around it from different perspectives, from production perspective, from director's perspective, teaching you how we see the screenplay, how the screenplay is helpful to all of us, and how you should write it. So for example, from my side, I'll be looking at production side. I'm selling this script. I have to get financing for this script. How important, what is the most important thing that should be in that script? But from a director's perspective, it's what you're writing is what is he's going to shoot. So he also has a say in how that dialogue is written, in how everything sounds. And then from a writer's perspective, they're just writing from their head, trying to see the events and trying to imagine the best possible. So we're going to be seeing these different perspectives so that you can also start thinking about how to start writing your screenplays for your upcoming filming pitching competition. So thank you very much, and see you at 11:45 East African time. Have a good break and enjoy your tea break or whatever. Just take a walk and come back refreshed. Take care. Bye.
Sasa nishaingia class.
The link. Thank you.